You can't even tell, but I'm wearing like a Cindy Lou Who shirt. Can't even tell. What is up, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Lily, and we're just gonna hang out in my room today and do a little bit of a story time. And because it is the holiday season, why not make it a Christmas story? So let's get cozy and let's get ready to like trauma bond and share our experiences and talk a little bit about like some Christmas memories. Now, I don't have many memories of Christmases past. I grew up I was not a privileged child. And my parents, didn't, I was from a low income family, okay? And so like my parents didn't have a lot of money, so we didn't get a lot of Christmases to share. But also my parents, in a way, didn't grow up with like a lot of things being celebrated in their life, so I don't think they knew how to do it with their kids either. Teacher editing Lily here. I also grew up very Jehovah's Witness, so that should kind of explain everything too. Let's go ahead and slip into our adult slippers and grab our favorite blankie. Let's also grab some eggnog and make it an adult version. Now usually eggnog is spiked with some rum or whiskey, but all your girl has in this bedroom is like an old bottle of Tito's vodka, and I don't even know whose this is, but somehow it ended up in my refrigerator, and we're just gonna spike this eggnog. Now I'm not gonna do a lot because I didn't. Is that enough? Yeah, that should be enough. It's okay. Like, well, A, I don't like vodka as it is, and B, I didn't grab a lot of eggnog. Sister's like organic fancy eggnog, and I didn't want her to notice that I took a good chunk out of it, so we're just gonna play it safe and work with what we got. So here we go. Ah! Yeah. Cheers, brother. Vodka. Oh god. I'm gonna try and move past the fact that like I just drink vodka right now, because it's like the thought of it, like, it's making me gag. I really don't like vodka. It like takes me back to my like old like party days, and just like the smell of a Red Bull like will make me like nauseated. Like I can't. Let's get back to some Christmas activities. My very first Christmas that I can remember is my dad taking us to Toys R Us. Now, if you didn't grow up with a Toys R Us, then you're probably not gonna understand the magic that this building held for us kids, okay? Toys R Us for us was like that scene in Home Alone when Kevin just walks into Duncan's toy chest and there is just this giant world of magic in front of him. Only for us it looked like a warehouse. It actually wasn't until like the late 90s when they decided to make it more like Play-Doh-like and more colorful, and that's when kind of Toys R Us started to become more fun. So the point of this family outing was because my dad didn't know his kids. He spent a lot of time working, as did my mom. So I feel like that maybe him taking us to Toys R Us was probably just something a little bit more easier for him to do than having to like possibly pick a gift for one of his kids that, they didn't like. Why not make it easier? And hey, I'll take the kids to Toys R Us, and and then I can kind of see with the stuff that they're into or whatever. But before we walk in, my dad turns to all of us and tells us,
"Hey, we're coming in here, but you guys are only allowed to pick one gift for Christmas. That's one gift each."
He didn't set a price limit, so that kind of gave you more wiggle room to work with. But for the most part, we knew that we were going into Toys R Us and we were only allowed to pick one thing. But can you guys even imagine that? Like, can you guys even imagine as a kid going into his toy store and only being able to pick like one thing? Like that's pretty hard. It's pretty hard. But again, we were kids that were not very spoiled, so we were grateful for whatever liberties we were allowed inside this toy store. And since there was no budget, I knew what I wanted. And at the time, Cabbage Patch Kids were the it toy, okay?
In the meantime, for those who got lucky, it was a moment of bliss.
I got my doll! I got my doll!
Like, you wanted a Cabbage Patch doll. Like, these suckers were always sold out everywhere. And especially during Christmas. So if you saw a Cabbage Patch doll during Christmas time, like, you knew that that's what you wanted. I knew that I wanted a Cabbage Patch doll. But there were so many options. And who is a child to pick among all of these adoptees that are, like, right in front of me? I mean, I was overwhelmed at the row of, like, possible little adoptees that I could take home with me and take care of. Like, I didn't know who to pick. Like, there wasn't like a popular one or like a sought out one, because there was just like so many that came out and so many models. And at the end of that row, I saw him. There he was in his yellow bathrobe, blue eyes, hair slicked back, looking refreshed, pacifier sold separately, but ready to be adopted. I saw little Elliot Normand. I think that was his name. I actually don't remember his name. He had like a weird name. But regardless, I found my possible Cabbage Patch doll at the end of that row. Hey, it's me again. And I recently looked up little Elliot because I wanted to adopt him again. And he's $150 now. So he's not getting adopted. And let me tell you why I needed Elliot, okay? Elliot was part of the Splash Kids collection, which meant this was the collection of Cabbage Patch dolls that were starting to be made out of, like, plastic. And so you can actually take, like, these Cabbage Patch dolls in the water because they weren't made out of cloth. Like, their whole body was plastic. So you can take them in the bath with you and play with them and, you know, give them a shower. And they wouldn't get ruined, you know, the cloth wouldn't get ruined because they were literally all plastic and you can move their arms and legs and pose them and stuff. So it was kind of like the newer generation of Cabbage Patch dolls that were out during that time. And my mom, being my mom, tried to intercept this bonding that Ellie and I were having through the see-through plastic on the box. And she tried to introduce like another Cabbage Patch to me with more accessories, better accessories that I can play with. But as a 6-year-old girl, I knew what I wanted, okay? And I turned to my mom and was like, hey mom, I got this, okay? I'm a 6-year-old adult, okay, who's about to be a parent. And I think I know who I want to bring home with me. And that's Elliot. Coming to a great home where there's no trauma whatsoever, okay? And I'm gonna take care of him, and he's gonna be like the best baby, and we're gonna have the best of time in the bathtub. Even though we don't have a bathtub and we lived in like a little shack behind someone's house that had a weird standing shower. Either way, like, Elliot is gonna be able to take baths somehow, even if they're showers, because, you know, we don't have a bathtub. We had a plastic pool though outside, but regardless, we had a shower, and Elliot was gonna be able to take baths, okay? In the shower, bath showers. That's what we were gonna do. And so little Elliot made it into the Toys R Us cart. And I think my sister ended up picking one too, but I really don't remember what hers looks like at all, actually. I wonder if she does. I should ask her. But my brother is the real champ of this story. My brother, being the badass that he is, he also knew what he wanted. And he went big. Oh, he went big. Ugh. My brother set his eyes on the prize. And he turned to my dad and he was like, Dad, you said I could get one thing, right? And my brother lifted up his chubby little hand and pointed and said, I want that. And his chubby little hand pointed to the best gift, the grandest gift that Toys R Us could bestow upon a child. My brother pointed out the newly released Nintendo NES bundle. that sucker came with 2 of the best games. He was like, we have no budget, got it, I know what I'm getting. And he got it. And my brother, being the little adult that he was at the time, he went up to the sales guy and was like, hey, can you get that down for me? Because my ballin' dad is about to buy this for me right now, and I'm gonna have the best Christmas ever. And into the Toys R Us cart it went. And we're just like elated. We're just like, yo, this is gonna be awesome. We just got like all this, like, we just got like these new toys that like everybody wants right now, and now we're part of like those people, and we're gonna get to play with the stuff, and it's gonna be so much fun as soon as we get home. Yeah, that didn't happen. What I failed to tell you guys was that this was 3 weeks before Christmas, okay? 3 weeks before Christmas. So as soon as we got home and unpacked all this stuff, and we were literally like, hell yeah, we're getting ready to play. My mom and my dad were like, nope, you guys can't, like, what are you talking about? Like, you guys can't touch this stuff. Like, no, like you guys have to wait until Christmas to open all of this stuff up. Imagine being a kid, seeing your gift that your parents just bought you, literally seeing it, picking it out, like already envisioning in your head the amount of like playtime fun that you're gonna have, and they tell you like, nope, like you have to wait 3 weeks until you can actually play with this stuff. And my mom went all out. She like wrapped each and every one. She wrapped up the Nintendo, she wrapped up the Cabbage Patch dolls, and she put them under the tree. So imagine coming home every day and seeing those packages and knowing what's in them, and then you're not allowed to open any of it or play with it until Christmas. Talk about torture for a child. And that is my first childhood Christmas memory. Yeah, granted, like, it was torturous having to wait like those 3 weeks, but you know, once the 3 weeks were over and like we actually got to open our stuff, like we had a blast that morning. Like my brother hooked up that Nintendo like right away. I just remember that Christmas morning being so fun with the 3 of us. I don't want to get emotional. It's just crazy that I still remember that. Like, I still remember that Christmas morning, like, sitting, like, we were all sitting in our pajamas, like, you know, playing the Nintendo. I had the Cabbage Patch in between my lap, and, you know, my brother would let us take turns. It was probably the one, if anything, the main reason. I think a lot of, like I said, like, I say this consistently, I would not be this cool if it wasn't for my brother, because he introduced me to, like, a lot of stuff. This is the reason why I am the way that I am. Like, I'm a total gamer girl, and it started that day. It started that Christmas day with that Super Nintendo, and with him just allowing us to bond with him. That will forever be, like, one of my favorite Christmas memories that I've had and that I hold on to as my very first experience with Christmas, like in the States at least. I have a lot of Christmas stories, but I really wanted to start with that one because it really is like one of my favorites. Anything that happens after this is basically like tragedy. So like anything after that story I feel like was just like disasters. I never really had like great Christmases after that. Not like that at least. So that's all I have for you guys today. Thanks for hanging out with me and listening to my Christmas story. I would love to check out everybody else's experience during the holidays, or just like hear some core memories that you guys might have during, you know, this holiday season. But as always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel so you can come hang out with me here in my room or out in the real world when I'm doing some other adventure. I will see you guys on the next one.